Who doesn't like a book? But inside, you've got a gecko. It doesn't set off any metal detectors. This is an example of how tortoises are frequently smuggled, and they're all taped to prevent them from moving.
I think this is illegal way they are coming in.
Illegal traders themselves have got very savvy. They are selling their products through cyberspace.
Carousel, yeah. Okay, like I took a picture of the snake just now, yeah. Just put in a caption, very rare species. Good deal, no hassle, don't need license, and that's it. And not die, good, you buy back some more from me.
Untuk makluman semua, satu ketika dulu hutan kita hampir melebihi 80%. Muka bumi di sepanjang Malaysia ni ditutupi oleh hutan. Jadi pada masa tersebut, hutan liar hidup dengan bebas lah. Bila masuk tahun 60-an, 70-an, 80-an, di mana pembangunan betul besar bangun untuk rakyat. Jadi banyak kawasan-kawasan hutan ini telah dibuka bagi tujuan kebanyakannya untuk pembangunan, perumahan seperti perumahan dan juga pertanian. Jadi benda ini berlaku begitu cepat dan pada hari ini kawasan habitat di depan ini telah kurang pada 50% lah, 50%.
There was a huge boom in social media where wildlife trade was concerned. We started seeing an increase in the number of people that were actively participating on social media forums. They were interested in buying and selling animals. They were interested in asking about animals. They wanted to know prices. And we realized that it was really becoming quite popular. We identified 14 Facebook groups, and we spent 30 minutes a day, just 30 minutes a day, to figure out just what level of activity was taking place on these 14 Facebook groups. More than 300 animals were being offered for sale. And we can say that they were being offered for sale because prices were mentioned. Prices were specifically mentioned in at least 30 posts. And for just these 30 animals, the cumulative value was about 184,000 ringgit at that time. I think this really boils down to a demand and supply issue. As long as there is going to be a demand, the supply will consistently be there.
The wildlife department has got its hands full. We have been doing the best we can in trying to curb this illegal trade.
Semua orang kasih kumpul satu tempat.
But now the illegal traders themselves have got very savvy. They have gone into cyber space and they are selling their products through cyberspace. And of course, with the invent of Facebook and advertisement on internet, they are allowed to spread the information. And there are always, when there are buyers, there will be people who will break the law in order to try and gain profit by selling these animal parts and species that are quite precious to us.
It's really quite sad because you hear a baby crying. And somebody's obviously sort of videoing this whole experience. The box arrives, the box is opened, this little baby in the box is just wailing. All you hear is a wail. It's about a baby animal that is stolen from the wild. It doesn't belong in a box. It doesn't belong in a small box. It would have been shipped by post. It had no right to be in that position.
You see, the problem is there'll be a lot of rich guy or what say, I fancy this clouded leopard or something like that. What will get around like, okay, this person wants this. You'll be surprised that most of these animals are owned by rich people. Not the poor will not be able to afford because they are all in thousands and all that. You know?
When you look at history, it was the rich and famous and the royalty that used to showcase their animals. And it was always linked with prestige, status, and being somebody. If I can show that I own this animal, then I become now a person of prestige, status, acquisition. Is part of my wealth, part of my trophying right now. The royalties and the kings and queens would then feature these animals because everybody was curious to see these animals. It's probably one of the early precursors of zoos, and they used to feature these animals. And people used to come and watch and observe these animals. And people have this process where they actually show these animals to their friends and they publicize. In the social media world, it means I'm going to get more likes. Especially if you have a cute, fuzzy little animal that everybody is very excited about, you're going to get a lot of your friends coming round to your page, liking it, and it goes viral. This is one of the ways that people are making themselves more famous by linking themselves up to exotic animals.
To the buyer, that somehow is appealing, and that gets posted online. It gets a lot of likes, it gets a lot of comments. Of course, there are a lot of angry people who say, look, this is not right. But clearly that's not what matters to the buyer.
course, as a pet enthusiast, a hobbyist, okay, we always try to get something different, special. The interest that sparks us to like, I want this, I want that. I had 2 pet shops. Then eventually I was doing some exhibitions and all that around Malaysia. I've owned numerous pets, so I mean, I have regretted selling some. They did a head count. They said there's probably only not more than 700 or so heads left in China and Vietnam. This is where this lizard comes from. Like, this is very sought after in the European countries or in the States. Eventually, most of the hobbies, they will go something higher end. They want something more rare because it will look cool in the exotic community. When I was younger, of course, also we jumped to it, just the excitement of being able to get one. But as you grow out on this hobby, then you will realize that it's actually disheartening to see the animal just dying like that. You know that if you know the know-how, you have the husbandry, then the animal could survive. But most of the traders are just interested in making money. They always want to sell just to make a quick buck, and that's it. And I die, good, you buy back some more from me.
Kita tengok dalam masa tahun 2012, 13, benda ni semakin menjadi-jadi. Dan banyak hidupan liar yang terancam ke, yang sangat terancam ke, dia membuat urusan jual beli di dalam talian.
Dia punya modus operandi adalah mudah je. Kebanyakannya dia akan letakkan, upload dekat sama ada Facebook atau Instagram. Kebanyakan daripada profil yang ada adalah umur antara 20-an sehingga ke 45 macam itulah. So, ini adalah individu yang biasa menggunakan internet, ada Facebook, ada Insta.
Social media and online platforms obviously made it really easy. Because now, by using this technology, they can easily target the mass market. They can publish a product and everybody can get to know it in a split of second.
Dia ada 30 kumpulan yang berkaitan dengan penjualan hidupan liar ni. So dia ada grup dia. Cumanya dia dalam grup dia tu ada yang close. Dia sesama ahli kumpulan saja yang menjual ataupun yang mengiklankan hidupan liar tersebut. Kebanyakannya yang upload status tu adalah dia sebagai dropship. Dan apabila ada individu yang berminat, dia akan direct message kepada penjual tersebut. So selalunya akan berlaku apabila ada persetujuan, individu pembeli itu akan membayar secara online ataupun bank in kepada individu yang melakukan dropship tadi ni. Hidupan liar ini akan dihantar sama ada melalui pos ataupun bas.
Pembeli sendiri akan mengambil hidupan liar tersebut di mana-mana perhentian bas ataupun mana-mana tempat yang telah dijanjikan. Dan seterusnya dia perlu mengambil gambar dan serah pada broker. So broker yang akan menghantar maklumat balik, okey, barang telah diserahkan dan baru dimasukkan duit pada supplier.
Akta yang ada hanya apabila dia memiliki hidupan liar tersebut. Kita mungkin boleh tangkap ataupun dapat hidupan liar tersebut, tetapi orang ataupun individu yang post hidupan liar tersebut ataupun melakukan urus niaga tersebut, penjual tu kita tidak dapat tangkap.
So sekarang ni supplier memang takkan ada kena-mengena, broker pun sebenarnya dia takkan berjumpa supplier. Kita pernah juga buat penahanan broker yang kita cuba minta dia sendiri yang hantarkan. Tapi in the end kita still tak dapat dia punya supplier sebab dia sendiri pun tak pernah berjumpa dengan supplier dia. Dia menguruskan saja.
The account on his side probably is fake ones. I mean, not his name. Probably they use a foreigner or something like that.
Posting di media sosial boleh dipadam pada bila-bila masa. Dalam masa sama juga, agak susah untuk kita sebagai yang kata bagi pasukan untuk penguasaan untuk melakukan tindakan selanjutnya kerana diorang tidak meletakkan apa-apa detail yang berkenaan dengan pembeli ni. Dia punya detail dia agak kurang.
Selalunya dia akan menggunakan sama ada akaun palsu ataupun gambar profil lainlah, bukan gambar dia. Dan kebanyakannya apabila berlaku katalah pilihan tahu profil itu, dia akan tubuhkan satu profil barulah ataupun satu nama baru ataupun satu kumpulan baru. Jadi ini menyukarkan kita lah. Apabila berlaku pertukaran grup dan sebagainya, jadi kita kena monitor dari awal balik. Dan lebih daripada 10,000 akaun ataupun yang aktif berkenaan dengan penjualan ataupun berinteraksi di dalam online untuk penjualan hidupan liar ni.
All these platforms, right, they do have a term and conditions. It's said in the term and condition which you can't have any illegal activities. Okay, so this is very clear to the public. However, obviously, these people, they misuse the platform. And in the same time, you can communicate with them. And all these platforms provide a facility to have a secure and private chat. Okay, and that makes it more difficult for investigators to have access to these chats and identify the right persons who is behind this animal trafficking. For instance, by using encryption, you can easily make a private chat. And as you know, it's impossible to break the encryption. The biggest challenges is data privacy and how the platforms makes the data or makes the communication private.
Everybody's operating under the cover of behind the computers on their phone. It's not always easy to identify where these individuals are.
We started business from 2008. I have some big size albino iguana. Yeah, it's very tame. Next one, I recommend monkeys. It's marmosets, white ear marmosets. This is Egyptian fox. This is from Sudan. This is albino tegu. I do all the legal way. I get my license from Perhilitan. This is my import document. So export, import, or we throw here. This is my every bill. You see how many every bill? It's a lot. This is a lot of paperwork. Feeding cost per month 3,000 to 5,000, and for 1 year my import and export other charges is around 40,000 to 50,000 ringgit. Feed like 10,000 ringgit or below 10,000 or 15,000. Each reptiles and each animals, they need the microchips. Microchip we pay about 10 to 15 ringgit for each animal. We have to pay the box charges and handling fees. It's about 2,000 to 3,000 US dollar. Ini yang itu otter.
Is this illegal or?
Illegal, of course. Ongkang, yung burung hantu, owl. This owl, I think is a white face. It's no mistake.
Which one is legal and illegal?
No legal.
No legal.
No legal.
All
the owl, no legal. Kongkang, slow loris, no legal. Otter, no legal. All of this illegal. As a leopard cat, dusky lip monkey, not suitable to keep. You see, all the people they are catch and they are try to make money. I think this is illegal way they are coming in.
How are the usual illegal ways that they come in that you know of?
The first thing is, if a legal way, they have a proper box for the shipping. Because this is, we can't see anything inside, so we don't know the inside is what animal is it. So this is, I'm sure, the illegal they are doing.
Carousel, yeah. Okay, like I took a picture of the snake just now, yeah. Just put in the caption, snake for sale. You can just put something to attract people, like very rare species, good for beginners. You can say, good deal, no hassle, don't need license, you know, something like that, then it's easy. Then you get people who wants exotic pets or what, they will go through it. You know, probably, you know, by tomorrow or so, somebody might just pick it up or anything like that. Now, in a way, it's easy because you don't need a shop. You won't get busted. So you can do a lot of fake accounts and all that. There's a lot of ways you can escape the law. The seller requires that you have 3 heads, 4 heads before he comes. Normally the trappers are based away from the city, you know. So for the seller, it must be feasible for him to travel there to collect. for example, a monkey for maybe 100 ringgit, he will probably be selling to the buyer, the potential buyer, at about 2,000 or 3,000. For 100 ringgit product, he can make so much. See, that's why he will take the risk, because it's like more than tenfold of the profits.
And for some of the illegal trade, they're really pretty expensive. The value is equivalent to a down payment for a small house in Malaysia. So we're not talking about 10 ringgit or 20 ringgit, we're really talking about hundreds and thousands of ringgit.
The Malayan tiger is very specific in the sense that it's only found in Peninsular Malaya. We are putting a large effort in order to conserve the tigers in Malaya. We only have about less than 200 of them. But you know, tiger parts now is a worldwide market. And people come in here just looking for tigers in order to put the snares and catch them, because one tiger can be sold for anywhere between 150,000 US to 200,000 US. And every part of the tiger is used in order to sell and make a profit. So there are people in our jungles who have come from Vietnam, who have come from Cambodia and Laos, and including locals who are hunting them.
The total of confiscated ivories consists of 3,692 kilograms of whole and partial tusks and 228 kilograms of semi-finished products.
This tusk is heavy. Of course, these are beads made of the tusk, not that very heavy, but these tusks are heavy. This is machine cut.
Yang border trade ni dia sedikit, kebanyakannya dia sedikit. Jadi dia punya rangkaian tu lebih luas. Dan apa yang disuduk ni, dia tak semestinya hilpaliah atau wildlife. Kadang-kadang dia bersekali dengan dadah, bersekali dengan senjata api, ataupun bersekali dengan benda-benda yang terlarang.
Contohnya gading gajah, sumbu badak yang ada nilai tinggi. Contohnya gading gajah. So selalunya gading gajah ni dia daripada Afrika lah. Sama ada gading yang sebatang ataupun yang telah diukir dan sebagainya ataupun telah dipotong-potong. So dibawa masuk ke ditransit, bukan untuk kegunaan Malaysia tapi sebagai transit untuk dihantar semula ke selalunya ke China lah. Jadi ini adalah yang bernilai tinggi lah, dan dia ada sedikit yang terancang. Sama ada dikontrol oleh di Afrika dan juga di negara-negara lain, yang menyebabkan barang ini ataupun gading ini dia melalui pelabuhan Malaysia dan dia dihantar.
Most people were actually able to find everything, so we have to do a better job of hiding stuff.
Yeah, maybe create more secret pockets inside. So what we're going to show you is how smugglers commonly smuggle things on their persons. Most common when they are traveling by air. For example, this is an egg vest. People have been caught trying to smuggle eggs on themselves. Sometimes it's on their body, sometimes it's strapped on their legs, keeps them nice and warm and doesn't set off any metal detectors, so everything goes through quite smoothly. Sometimes you also have these specially modified vests or jackets. And here, fake of course, ivory. Additional pockets. You can carry pretty much anything as long as it is not metal. It doesn't set off metal detectors. And if you add more clothes, you get a little bit puffy. You don't set any alarm bells off. And this is an example of how tortoises are frequently smuggled, and they're all taped to prevent them from moving. Every single one of them are alive because it's for the pet trade. Another example, birds in a bottle, and if you go online and Google, you'll find many, many pictures of birds being smuggled like this. You've got holes to let them breathe, but one of the easiest and fastest ways to smuggle birds.
And the great book with a surprise in it.
Who doesn't like a book? But inside, you've got a gecko. And these are all actual examples of how smugglers have been arrested. We are seeing a lot of our native animals being exported for sale elsewhere in the world. We are also seeing non-native animals coming into the country. And so you've got these dynamics as a source and as a consumer, as well as a transit country for things that aren't really targeted to local demand. We're not saying that this is a problem here in Malaysia. This is a global problem.
Most hunters go out at night or early hours in the morning. Definitely they have machetes and homemade guns. Mostly 2 or 3%, because if you get a big animal you cannot handle alone, you cannot carry it alone. Poachers, there's two types. I mean, for poachers it's either for food or for the pet. Everything is worth money. Any wildlife can be sold.
We found baby gibbons. We found baby sun bears. It's really quite shocking. They were animals that were considered totally protected under the Wildlife Conservation Act of Peninsular Malaysia. A number of these individuals are actually offering animals that you cannot sell. The more worrying question is, how on earth did these individuals get these animals? A vast majority of them were native animals, which means people were going into the forest, they were trapping them. And what's really surprising, even more shocking about this, was that almost all of them were juvenile animals. And particularly for mammals, it's a pretty serious problem. When you take a baby away from its mother, from its family, you don't know how long they will survive. Their own support system in the wild has been essentially taken away.
Ini anak lotong kan? Ni anak lotong ni confirm mak dia mati dah. Mak dia mati dah ni, tak ada dah. Itu sebab dapat anak ni. Nampak tak? Bunyi ni stres, dia stres. Dia nak mak ni. Dia nak suckle, dia nak menyusu.
Hidupan liar yang dari segi juvenile ni kebanyakannya adalah comel. Sebahagian daripada keluarga dia. Maknanya dari segi ke setengah tu diletakkan pakaian, dia bagi makanan yang dimakan oleh manusia.
Encik nak kau ada ke? Cik nak kau ada ke? Dah. Jom. Dah lama, ha? Kita tahu dia dengan mak dia akan sentiasa sampai setahun ke 2 tahun baru dia akan belajar berdikari sendiri. Tapi bila yang beli anak-anak macam ni, kecil lagi dia dah dipisahkan dengan mak dia. Stress factor benda-benda macam tu akan menyebabkan risiko penyakit tu tinggi. Dan dari segi dia punya behavior dia akan berubah lah daripada normal kepada tak normal. Tu yang akan efek dia punya jangka masa panjang dia lah. Kita ada kes yang orang beli kan. So dia beli, tapi and then dia buat serahan. Cumanya owner dia dah jaga dia dalam satu tempoh masa lah, mungkin 6 bulan. So dia tak nak langsung dekat orang lain selain owner dia. So disebabkan benda tu suka nak jaga. So dari situ ada stress factor, dia kena penyakit lah. And then kita start untuk bagi rawatan, tapi dia tak respon dengan rawatan. So mati. So heartbreaking lah sebenarnya. Kita buat semua benda, tapi still kat hujungnya kadang-kadang tak boleh nak survive. Sayanglah. Sayang.
They had no respect for protecting species in the wild. They had no respect for law enforcement in the authorities. It was a crime, pure and simple, because they knew for a fact that they were offering animals that they were not supposed to offer for sale.
Warrior snail ni sama ada mati ataupun kalau dia survive pun kaki dia putus. Dan dari segi jerat pula, kita dalam masa 5 tahun juga kita telah memusnahkan lebih daripada 2,000-3,000 jerat. Maksud saya sini jerat ialah jerat dawan.
Kalau dia menggunakan jerat di lapangan, di hutan, bukan saja hidupan liar yang dia target tu dapat, tapi juga dia akan melibatkan hidupan liar lain, harimau, gajah dan sebagainya, tapir dan sebagainya, yang boleh membunuh hidupan liar tersebut dan boleh mengakibatkan kepupusan secara setempatlah, locally extinct.
Kita di Jabatan Perintah ni kita ada Wildlife Rescue Center yang berpusat di Sungai, di mana hidupan-hidupan liar yang dirampas ataupun yang cedera kita akan hantar ke sana. Kita ubat, pulihkan dia, kita akan simpan lah sampai mati lah, kita simpan bagi makan.
Nah, Stacey. Hai. Kita ada lebih 300 individu di mana termasuk primate, termasuk juga mamalia besar dan juga burung-burung. So ada juga rawatan lain seperti tapir yang masuk ke sini di mana kena kesan jerat. Sekarang kita berada di kompleks beruang. Ini memang saya dan pasukan saya involve secara directly, kerana kita berurusan dengan penjual. Kita melalui, asalnya dia bermula dengan promosi pada online. So dia jual cadangnya dia mula nak kata dia jual beruang matahari lah. Semasa kita buat urusan jual beli, saya terima beruang ni dalam keadaan yang sangat kecil, di mana masih baby dan bulu dia pun baru masih sikit. Mana body dia tu masih merah lagi. Kat situ kita tak nampak dari segi kebajikan, mana dia bagi susu ataupun bagi apa-apa sumber. Dan saya juga pasti ibu dia telah dibunuh untuk dapatkan beruang ni. Masa-masa kita poleh beruang ni, dan kita dapati ini bukan beruang Malaysia dan ini adalah beruang luar negara, di mana kita sebagai pembeli tak sedar yang kita membeli ni juga bukan sekadar hidupan liar yang di Malaysia. Kita juga telah mengambil ada khazanah daripada negara lain. Kebanyakan pembeli ni adalah, kita tahu dia adalah antara pencinta hidupan liar, pencinta haiwan. Dan hidupan liar yang dia beli, kebanyakan pembeli kurang pengetahuan berkenaan dengan hidupan liar yang dia beli.
Nampak comel kan kucing batu ni? Memang comel lah. Tapi bila dah besar sikit, dia mula dah agresif lah. Bila agresif sangat, orang akan lepas kat luar lah. Ataupun orang salah dekat perlitan. Sebab kita jumpa. Sebab India nanti kebanyakan bila ada masalah, diorang akan hantar ke perhilitan tau. Sebab diorang tak dapat nak handle, tak dapat nak jaga. So masa tu diorang cakap, benda ni serahan apa semua. Mungkin diorang sebenarnya menyimpan secara tidak sah.
World Wildlife Day, I'm declaring war against the poachers. The time has come to stop the killing of the Malayan tigers and the other wildlife by these ruthless poachers.
We have continuous programs whereby a special committee has been set up, and whatever information that we have, that we pick up, and our cybercrime unit, whereby they know how goods are being transferred from one area to another, that is when we call in all these people who are involved. So we also have help from international agencies who have experiences in this, and they are also advising us.
Kita kena bekerjasama rapat dengan Interpol. Pasal maklumat tu memang selalunya Interpol yang bagi kat kita lengkap senarai apa yang hidupan liar ada. Kalau contohnya pelabuhan, kat pelabuhan mana, kontena yang mana, kapal yang mana, so dia berlabuh ke apa, bila. So itu maklumat yang komplit.
So kita akan membuat rondaan, boleh kata setiap hari lah. Berkaitan dengan sedaya upaya dengan juga kerjasama dengan agensi, sedaya upaya untuk mengatasi isu ni dengan melakukan banyak perkara. Kita buat kerjasama dengan tentera, dengan pihak polis, kita buat boots on the ground.
That will deter them from coming in and trying to poach our animals from the forest.
Selama ni kita cukup susah kita nak dakwa. Kita tak boleh nak dakwa kecuali orang tu ada memiliki, kita boleh dakwa. Tetapi dengan pilihan akta kita ni, kalau dia masuk dalam media sosial, kita boleh dakwa. Itu yang terbaiklah. Dengan adanya benda ni, maka akan mengurangkan orang jual beli dalam media sosial.
We need to change these laws and to make it in line with what is happening today, and to make sure that the deterrent for those who break the law, the punishment is equally severe, and they won't attempt to do it. So these laws are in place, are being there, and I think by 2020 we would see a lot of amendments taking place as far as the ministry is concerned. So my message to them is, we are coming, be prepared, and we have given orders what to do, and if you're caught, you will pay heavily for the crime that you have committed.